Greetings and salutations, you beautiful people. We back. It's League Unlock, LEC power ranking time, and it's been Astralis that's been climbing out at the bottom of the LEC since Magic Felix came in, and they're staying out of the bottom. They do move down a spot, spoilers, this week. But really the theme this week is Misfits climbing, Misfits soaring towards the playoffs, Mark.
Hey, Misfits are trying to make their trip to the moon, my man, getting themselves set up for the playoffs, going on this magical run. And they are saying, Kabe, can you do the damage? Oh, you can do the damage. Hey, let's all line up behind our boy Kabe and line up for the conga line of destroying the Nexus.
The big climb, 3 spots, is a relatively big climb this late in the season. It's a combo of not only do you get head-to-head wins against Schalke and Excel, who are directly above you in the standings, but you combine that with Schalke and Excel combining for an 11-game losing streak between the two of them. That's some tough sledding to make playoffs, man.
Yeah, it really is unfortunate, and it continues, this trend that we've been talking with Schalke, that there's been multiple aspects of their team that was succeeding, right, when they were at their very peak, beating G2, beating Rogue, that are completely not performing at this point and are being
right now.
Exactly, and it is one of the things that when you want to, look at a certain area and examine it and where to improve, it's the whole body, right? Doctor, it's everything, man. Everything is bleeding on this Schalke, and you need to get a stop here. Somebody needs to step up and deliver what type of performance. And the problem is, I think it's going to be more. It has to be more than just one, because this is not just the level of performance or issues that are 1v9able, right? This seems to be that you're going to need at least somebody else helping you out, or performance stepping up their level for Schalke to get back to any type of picture in that top level of competition.
And the problem is both of them, both Schalke and Excel, okay, they have Astralis and Vitality respectively on Saturday, but they're playing Mad Lions for Schalke on the Friday, and then for Excel, they're playing Fnatic on the Friday. So, okay, maybe you bounce back when you're 5-9, but guys, might be too late at that point.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about where they find themselves now in the standings. And then, as we talked at the very beginning of talking about the LEC, the Misfits, Kabe and the boys, and how they are rocketing up the standings and in their performances, putting it together. Their record is absolutely not out of reach to get into the playoffs.
It's kind of just shifted, because I feel like Misfits, after, I think it was week 1, maybe even week 2, we were talking about them. They looked good. 2-1, got 2 wins right away. And then they had an insane losing streak. And now they've snapped it, and they're rolling, and it's Excel and Schalke's turn. So these bottom 4 or 5 teams in the LEC have just kind of been swapping who's rocking incredibly long losing streaks.
And with Misfits, it was at the point of being almost puzzling, right? We had some questions about them heading into the year, and maybe not the highest of expectations still. But what they were showing on the Rift in the first 2 weeks, you're like, what really is the issue? Because you have a lot more talent and players that not only have talent, but know better, right, in game and what they should be doing. And you weren't seeing it on the Rift. Now we are. And this is by no means perfection. You got the winning recipe right here. That's not the case, but absolutely a recipe that is getting dubs and putting them on the board, and getting those dubs at an all-important time where you are making this run towards playoffs. Very valuable for the Misfit squad finding their form.
Their recipe is now an Uber Eats that it's good. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to write up a comment, but, I'm not going to praise it either. It's good enough.
Yeah, but I bet you're ordering it from there next week. I bet it.
That's true. Schalke, whatever they're cooking, I'm writing up a paragraph about what was wrong with this dish, because it's not looking good. The top 5 in the LEC is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty much, hey, wait a sec, the same as last week, believe it or not. And for SK, we praised them on the weekend recap show, as we should. They got one of the biggest win streaks in the league, but we're still waiting. They got the win against Mad Lions. Okay, that's the only team they've beaten during this win streak, ahead of them in the standings. But you look at the full season body of work, not enough to knock Mad Lions down. And SK, they're so close, especially Fnatic struggled as well, but still, Not enough to knock them out of the top 4, but SK is right there to crack the top 3.
You know when you see a big strike of lightning come down and you wait and you're just counting the seconds, you're waiting for the big crackle and crash of the thunder to come through, right? The sound to roll on in. That's what it feels like right now for SK. What we've seen from you see the lightning bolt come down.
They knocked the tree down. The tree's on fire.
And now we're just waiting to hear that sound roar, that crackle and thundering crash from their run here and the wins that they've been picking up. One more weekend of solid play. That's when you're going to see the Thunder crash into the power rankings and what they can do and how they should be climbing. That's what I'm holding out for, is the way I want to put it. They're close. They've put together enough that you're feeling in this territory. You're getting the excitement. That electricity, the Thunder, that I'm talking about, keeping these analogies rolling, that's in the air. Now we're just waiting for that spark to go off, and that is this weekend.
Vitality on Friday, Fnatic on Saturday for SK. So get the job done against Vitality, keep the streak rolling, be competitive against Fnatic. Obviously, if you beat them, then hey, we're flying towards that top 3, baby.
Yeah, man, it is all aboard the Treats Express for SK Gaming, climbing up the power rankings, climbing up the LEC standings, and it is a double thumbs up for me for SK.
They still got Fnatic and Mad ahead of them, but it's a tough weekend for Mad because they play Rogue on the Saturday. So you combine that and things might be looking real good for SK. But because of how, the start of the season was and just the history of the players on Fnatic and Mad Lions, you got to give them the precedent and a bit of respect to keep them 3 and 4 respectively for now.
Yeah, but as we've alluded to with that match, that's the big one. You got to win that one. If you're a Fnatic fan, if you are Fnatic, you need to win that match against SK to not only hold your ground, hold back the momentum of a team storming into this playoff picture. You got to hold your ground in these power rankings and what's happening in the LEC.
And standings are still incredibly close outside of, G2 and Rogue, but SK and Mad both at 8 and 5, Fnatic right behind at 7 and 6. But yes, the top 2 in EU are still the same, and it's very different play styles. What we see out of Rogue, what we see out of G2. Rogue, it's not as flashy. It's not as razzle-dazzle and pizzazz as G2. But hey, you saw a clip from LS. He says Inspired is hands down the best jungler in the LEC. Do we agree, Mark?
Right now, I have no argument against it, my man. The way that he has been playing, the performances that he has put forth, and then even, comparing it against the other top junglers in the LEC, right? You're talking about Yanko, Selfmade, what we've seen from them and how they've played. You have to be looking at Inspired as the guy that has been rolling on through. We were getting really hyped up on him last year toward, in the middle of the playoffs and in that run towards Worlds and what we had seen
Evelyn
from him.
Era.
The differences in Rogue and allowing that creativity, this changes in the jungle to come through. We've seen him continue, maybe not exactly that champion pool or selected for Rogue and that in the meta, but absolutely the way that he has played, the hunger, the aggression, the execution that he is playing with, it is all double thumbs up. And absolutely, someone like LS acknowledging and saying that he's the best jungler in the region, I've got no arguments against that.
Things are looking real good for Rogue still. Things are also looking great for G2. They still have that little padding on that number 1. And G2 are in peak form right now. And I'm not talking about just how they're playing, gameplay style. If you watch any of the mic checks that the LEC puts out, G2 is in peak goofy form. This last week, you're seeing Mickey. The team just says, Mickey, what do you want to pick? Just go with your gut. Pick whatever. And these guys are just trolling, basically. He's sitting there, Blitzcrank. Let's play Blitzcrank. And then even in-game, their communications, if you listen to any in-game comms, no one is laughing and goofing around in the game as often as G2.
I don't know if this is going to be for everybody, but, you got your best mates, you got your best friends, your boys that you're so close with. That's what this feels. You're getting right away from this G2 roster and what you're seeing. You got Yankos acing Fnatic on the Rift, and then he's in the car with everyone from G2 saying, hey, I'm going to ace G2 in the car. And you're like, whoa, making these type of jokes, those type of things. That's the only type of thing when you're comfortable with your best friends. That's what you're making those jokes. That's what we're seeing from the relationship and camaraderie with this G2. And on the Rift, the execution, the performance, the play, the internet connection.
That's the
Hey,
MVP.
it's
Player of the
all
game.
coming on. It's all coming on through for G2. You love what you see. As you said, they've got that little pad ahead of Rogue, even in this tight race for the top spot in the LEC. Hey, it's not just the reckless advantage. It's all of G2 providing that advantage ahead of Rogue.
And you heard even Hilliseg say after that G2 Fnatic game, well, I guess they fixed their internet issues. when it's Hilliseg saying that on the opposite team, oh man, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, look, G2 fans are more than happy, and you absolutely should be with what you're seeing. And even if you're not a G2 fan, and I know I can't convince you to like the attitude and everything that goes on with Carlos and the team if you're not a fan already. But I will say, as far as the gameplay, the players on there and what they represent for the European region in League of Legends,
hope.
You better be able to give them some support and some hope if they're the squad representing you at MSI.
G2 and Rogue stay untouched atop the LEC power rankings. That's it for now, though. Eric and Mark here with you guys. Thanks for watching. Catch you on that flippity.